Oh, should be nothing controversial in this video. CDC, remember, this is the CDC after all. We're just reporting on CDC documents. No record of naturally immune transmitting COVID-19. Cool, so apparently if we take the CDC's direction on this one, I'm not spreading the coof to anybody. Imagine that. Haven't been sick in just about a year. Probably right on or around a year. Really fucking interesting now, isn't it? The Center for Disease Control and Prevention says that it has no record of people who are naturally immune transmitting the virus that causes the coof. In the fall, the CDC received a request from an attorney on behalf of the Informed Consent Action Network for documents reflecting any documented case of an individual who, number one, never received a COVID-19 vaccine, number two, was infected with COVID-19 once, recovered, and then later became infected again. Wow, that's a short list of people. And number three, transmitted the coof to another person when reinfected. All right, survey says people who've recovered from COVID-19 are known to carry some degree of natural immunity of the virus. In response, dated November 5th and made public recently, the CDC says it doesn't have any documents pertaining to the request. Dun dun dun. The CDC confirmed to the Epoch Times that the Emergency Operations Center didn't find any records responsive to the request. God, that really is, that's a bad time. Agency declined to say whether any documentation has been found between November 5th and 12th, the time that this article was published, obviously, directing the Times to file a free FOIA request. See if there's going to be any follow-up on this, because this story really is kind of funny. Just another check in the column of natural immunity over getting jabbed up all the fucking time. You would assume that if the CDC was going to crush the civil and individual rights of those with natural immunity by having them expelled from school, fired from their jobs, separated from the military, and worse, the CDC would have proof of at least one instance of an unvaccinated, naturally immune individual transmitting the coof to another individual. If you thought this, you would be wrong. Aaron Siri, the attorney who sought the records on behalf of the network, said in a blog post, "Yeah, I'm not really surprised by any of that, because of course it's nothing. Remember guys, this is not about keeping anybody safe. This is not about your health at all. That really stopped being the case several months, over a year ago. It's all about compliance." The CDC's disclosure drew responses from several medical experts, oh my god, including Johns Hopkins Dr. Marty Macri, who said it underlined how little data the agency has released concerning the recovered. Yeah, but what does he know? He just works at Johns Hopkins. Macri called on the CDC to make data of any reinfections that have resulted in hospitalization or deaths public. Nah. File a request and we'll see if we get to it. CDC should be transparent with the data. Yeah, should be. Aren't. Should be, though. On natural immunity, instead, we get glimpses of FOIA requests like this one. Yeah, that's really tough. CDC sets firm new rules. Oh, I'm sorry, for a few firm rules. I didn't realize how difficult that would be to say, but its guidance has proven enormously influential during the Coof pandemic, sure. Virtually all officials imposing vaccine mandates have removed the option for people to refuse the vaccine if they can prove that they've had the coof and recovered, with many citing the CDC for a reason to do so. Yeah, they've been calling for it, but once again, that's fallen on deaf ears, like Helen Keller deaf. Officially across the country, people have been urged to get vaccinated by claiming that it will protect those around them. Yeah, but what if you've recovered from that shit? Really looks like that's actually helping out. But yeah, if that's not enough to get, I don't know, yeeted off of YouTube, let's try to double down on this, shall we? Little evidence supports use of cloth masks to limit spread of coronavirus. Wow, I feel like we've been running back this story for years at this point. Cloth masks are of little use against COVID-19, according to a recently published analysis. It's probably from some hack out there. Wait, Cato Institute? Ooh, fuck. While federal health authorities and a a slew of jurisdictions require or recommend wearing masks as a way to limit the spread of the virus that causes the Coof. A trio of researchers pored over the studies often cited by the officials and found that they were poorly designed and offered scant evidence as a support of mask usage. Yeah, that really is sad now, isn't it? Many of the studies are observational, opening them up for confounding variables. The researchers said in their analysis, which was published on November 8th by the Cato Institute. Of 16 randomized controlled trials comparing mask effectiveness to controls with no masks, 14 failed to find a statistically significant benefit, the researchers said. And of 16 quantitative meta-analysis, half showed weak evidence of mask effectiveness. While the others were equivocally or critical as to whether evidence supports a public recommendation of masks. God damn it, but I just bought stock in all of those big mask corporations. Just kidding. I didn't. I'm not a war profiteer. The biggest takeaway is that more than 100 years of attempts to prove that masks are beneficial has produced a large volume of mostly low-quality evidence that has generally failed to demonstrate their value in most settings. Dr. Jonathan Darrow, an assistant professor of medicine at Harvard Medical School and one of the researchers. Okay, so you got the Cato Institute, you got Johns Hopkins, you got Harvard Medical School, all of those really disreputable outlets. I don't know what's going on here. Officials mulling mask recommendations should turn their attention to interventions with larger and more certain benefits, such as vaccines. May I refer to you to the first article of the day? Based on the evidence currently available, again, you don't really want to look at that evidence, especially the shit that's coming out of the CDC. Masks are mostly a distraction from the important work of promoting public health. That's actually a very secretly based statement to be making. Masks take away from promoting public health. Okay, don't disagree. I just find it very shocking that somebody would say that without really knowing exactly what they're saying. One study that's widely cited as by mask proponents in rural villages in Bangladesh. Wait, what? Okay, found that surgical masks appeared to be marginally effective in reducing symptomatic COVID-19, but that cloth masks weren't. Okay, cool. Single-use masks for everybody. Make sure that they're properly affixed to your face. Do not remove them. Do not adjust them. Therefore, you'd end up just breaking the seal, or you'd be breaking the barrier. But then again, at the end of the day, though, what if you don't have the virus? And what if you're not transmitting it anyways? But you still can. You should just be afraid of anybody who's out there who isn't wearing a mask at all times, especially in the shower. Okay. The other real-world randomized controlled trial examining mask effectiveness conducted in Denmark didn't find a statistically significant difference in infections between the masked and unmasked groups. Imagine my shock. The remainder of the available clinical evidence is primarily limited to non-randomized observational data, which are subject to confounding. All right, the researcher said, including accounting for the other differences in behavior among those who don't wear masks. He did note evidence that masks reduce droplet dispersion, although cloth masks are unlikely to capture the particles even if worn properly. Some outside experts' views align with the researchers, including Dr. Martin Kulldorff, Senior Scientific Director at Brownstone Institute. We've heard from him before, right? The truth is that there are only 2 randomized trials of masks for the Coof. One was in Denmark, which showed that they might be slightly beneficial, they might be slightly harmful. We don't really know. But yeah, no, that's justification enough, right? The confidence interval kind of crossed 0. And there was another study from Bangladesh where the randomized villagers to mask or no masks. Okay. And the efficacy of the masks for the reduction of the Coof was something between 0 and 18%. That's sizable enough. Remember, one life is too many, right? Sure. So either there is no or a minuscule effect. Yeah, that's true. And that's true. The analysis drew some pushback, including from Kimberly Prather, director of National Science Foundation Center for Aerosol Impacts on Chemistry of the Environment. Cool. I hope you have a big, like a novelty-sized business card. Prather noted on Twitter. Oh yeah, that researchers say masks reduce the amount of viruses in the air and believes that runs counter to their conclusions. Yeah, well, what does your study know? I have expert friends and I'm on Twitter. I bet you she probably has a blue check mark. Darrow responded by saying the amount of virus in the air was a surrogate, not a clinical endpoint. Cool. Just listen to me. I'm an authority. Stop thinking for yourself. The amount of pathogen in the air to be inhaled directly determines the dose. Okay. And that's once again contrary to earlier science that masks were out there to help everybody else out, but now they're being used and justified to keeping yourself safe? Wait, what? This is directly linked to risk. Oh, okay, cool. Or can you explain how less virus in the air could be a higher risk? Nobody cares. It's equivalent to saying that less pathogen in drinking water is, oh my god, now she's talking about the water? Let's talk about making the frogs gay. Is higher risk, so don't filter water. Cool. I too like false equivalencies sometime. If the theory diverges from what you see in real life, which one do you believe? I'm going to go with the one where I'm not forced to do something I don't want to. But that's just me, though. Let's go ahead and shift gears a little bit, and let's just stop talking specifically about certain government provisions and move them to more extreme provisions. We talk a lot about Australia. Let's just drop a couple of letters and go and see what the former home country of one of the most authoritarian dictators of all time, what his old stomping grounds are up to, with an arm straight out in front of you at about a 45-degree angle. With that said, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.